took your time in getting here.
They in there?
Yes. You got everything straight?
Sure. Which one is it?
Nick.
Good.
Hold it.
I'm a farmer, Frank.
You're a candidate, Josh. Don't ever forget that.
Let me see, make it definite on the sugar beets.
That's the entire crop.
All of it. Now let me have 3,000 bushels of your olives.
You want an option on the rest?
Let me check back east and I'll let you know in a couple of days, all right?
All right.
And I'll take 6,000 bushels of your peaches. And if it's all right with you, I'd like a 3-day option on the rest.
You got it.
Thank you.
Seems to me you're buying a powerful lot of Barkley produce. Sorry, but in this way, I couldn't help overhearing. I guess maybe I was eavesdropping. It's a bad habit. But when a man's running for public office, I guess you got a duty to keep up with all that's going on. In case my campaign literature hadn't caught up with me yet, name's Hawks. Joshua Hawks.
Yeah, I've heard of you, Hawks. Now, if you don't mind, we'd like to get back to our business here.
Well, I don't mind, but maybe this fella here and the people he buys for should.
Hawks, you've been running off at the mouth up and down this state. I can't even keep up with the charges you've made.
That's probably because you wasn't interested, young fella, but I got something in the works now that I think is going to interest you Barkleys something fierce. Yeah. As a matter of fact, it ought to interest you too, sir. Sooner you know about it, the better.
I think that our business is finished, Mr.
Well, now,
Barkley.
you don't know it yet, mister, but you ain't got no business with them. That is, unless, of course, the people you represent don't mind buying produce that was growed on stolen land. That's right. That's right. Gentlemen, I accuse this man's daddy, Thomas Barkley, of having stole every foot of land his family lays claim to, pirated, and stole in as black a series of crimes as the West has ever witnessed.
Take it outside, friend. It's all right, Rudy. Let him finish.
I accuse your daddy of being a tyrant, a common thief. And before I leave this valley, everybody's gonna know that I speak the truth.
Everybody's gonna know before you leave this club, Hawks. You're gonna prove every word you said is true, or take it all back.
It's all right, folks. It's all right. I expected violence, so you can beat me up, boy, but you can't shut me up.
Proof. Proof, Hawks, that every word you said about my father is true.
It will out, boy, but in my time, not yours. Oh, yes, do with me what you will. You can torture me, beat me, even kill me, but the truth will ring free over the sound of your hired guns. Wait a minute, sonny, I ain't through. Above the clank and the clamor of the chains with which you've enslaved your neighbors. You can beat me. You can kill me, but the truth shall set us all free.
And with that, Nick Barkley delivered, continued on page 3. Delivered a smashing left-hand blow to the jaw.
It was a right hook.
Which felled the surprise Hawks like a rope steer.
Oh, you've seen it.
And I'll tell you something else. There were a half a dozen people there that congratulated me for shutting Hawks up. And another dozen that told me to tell him the next time I decided to hit him, and they'd buy tickets.
Wonderful, Nick. Wonderful. You committed a public service. Maybe you should run for governor.
I'd stand a better chance of being elected than Hawks would, and I'd make twice the governor he would. And if you think for 1 minute that I'm going down there and apologize for hitting
Nick,
him...
I'm not saying the man doesn't deserve something. He deserves our silence, our contempt. By hitting him, you gave that idiotic charge half the front page.
Then I say we use it to our advantage. It's one thing for him to go around telling a few people that we stole our land, and it's another thing entirely for him to plaster it all over the largest newspaper in this valley. I say we sue him for libel.
And I say he's hoping and praying that that's exactly what we do. You couldn't have done more for his campaign if you went out and personally got him 50,000 votes. Nick, the man can't buy that kind of publicity.
So we just let him go on lying about us.
He's not going to go on lying about us. Unless we sue him for libel. Believe me, I know the breed. Strictly hit-and-run tactics. Tomorrow he'll forget all about the Barkleys, scatter his buckshot on some other target.
And the day after that, another and another.
That's been his pattern up to now. Bigger and better lies, bigger and better targets. It all makes Hawks more important.
But, Jared, somebody has to challenge him, stop him, make him stay put long enough to face up to his charges.
Mother, unless we dignify him by paying attention to him, he's not going to get any votes in this valley.
Maybe not, but I stopped by Dan Sheridan's on the way to see if we could count on him for the picking.
And?
He said sure he'd be by, if we can prove Hawks is lying.
Dan said that?
Right?
Well, I'll talk to him.
Well, I wouldn't count on it because he put his foot down.
Well, I'll kick it out from under him.
Oh, Nick.
All right, all right. I don't want him working for us anyway. There's a lot more people in this valley that are much more willing to work.
Well, I'm going into town to see if I can find some of those. You want to come along?
Yeah.
Josh? Hey, Josh. Look,
Oh, good, Donald, good.
printed up 1,000. Hired 3 guys to help me. Gonna pay them a silver dollar apiece.
Yeah, good, Donald, good.
Well, if they're waiting for me, I better get them started.
May I see that? I accuse Tom Barkley. Very colorful language. Obviously not yours.
Oh, it ain't his, it's mine. Sure, you knock a man's wind out, you don't wait for him to catch his breath. You move in for the kill.
And maybe get killed. I warned you, never put charges in writing. They can be used against you. I told you a dozen times, never repeat the same charge in the same place.
All right.
When you're bluffing, Josh, never put yourself in the position to be called.
All right. Well, maybe I was a little too impetuous. That's a $5 word he learned me. Go on and call it all off.
Josh, we ain't gonna let these go to waste.
Now, you want me to be governor, don't you, Daniel? Do as I say. Go.
Friend, you know now where I stand.
I want to tell you something, neighbor.
No, I want to promise you that wherever there is corruption, wherever there's a fat old cat with his hand in the public treasury, stealing from the working man, the farmer, the man who's trying to dig a living out of the hard soil with his bare hands, wherever there is corruption, I'm going to turn a light on it. I'm going to look out for your interests. And I'll tell you something else. Well, now, questions from anybody? Daniel, fill up them coffee cups again. Pass out some more of them good homemade donuts. Now, there's got to be some questions. Come on, there's got to be some questions. Anybody you'd like punched in the nose? Name him. I'm your man. Yes, friend.
I understand you've been yapping about Tom Barkley being a thief, stealing every foot of his land. We'd like to hear tell about that.
Would you, friend? You'd like to hear about Tom Barkley, would you? All right, neighbor. You'll hear. Daniel, I reckon these neighbors of ours would like to see these circulars. Pass them out. Now, I haven't spoken about this since Nick Barkley viciously attacked me. I haven't spoken about it since them circulars was printed.
You say Mr. Hawks has been circulating these.
Come now, Mr. Wesley. Every time he can gather an audience of 2, and you know it.
Now, the fact is, I didn't know.
You know, types like you and your candidate usually use the hit-and-run tactic. Kind of a shame you didn't this time, because now it's going to cost you.
There's no need to act like this. You're a lawyer, I'm a newspaper man. Neither of us was born yesterday. How many times have you skirted the truth in court to help a client, to make a legal point?
Let's don't embarrass us both, Mr. Wesley. I want a complete and full retraction to every allegation.
Frank! Say, Frank. Well, I better put up my guard, Mr. Jared Barkley.
A little late for that, Mr. Hawks. Remember, a complete and full retraction in writing, or else.
Or else. What are you going to do, super libel?
Josh, let me handle this.
Well, they can go whistle for it. You're bluffing. You don't want no long, drawn-out court case, and you know it.
That's the point, Mr. Barkley. A drawn-out court case, even if you win it, will do you more harm than good. Keep the charge alive. Now, why don't we sit down here and try and discuss this reasonably?
There ain't gonna be no discussion, because there ain't gonna be no retraction. I get under your skin, and you know it. The fat cat's beginning to itch. And you're gonna itch a lot more before I'm through with you. I'm gonna make them Barkleys scratch till they bleed.
Well, I'd like to thank you, Mr. Hawks,
Thank me.
for making what I'm going to have to do to you such a pleasure. Good day, gentlemen.
Well, now you've done it.
Huh?
I warned you not to put this in writing.
Our campaign
I warned you not to
contribution-
carry this to the point where we'd have to put up or shut up.
Oh, look. I ain't running. Now, that charge I made sticks.
The charge you made. The charge I invented. I spent weeks digging into the Barkleys' personal history. Business dealings, nothing. They're pure as driven snow. But you know that as well as I do.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know something else. Something else you taught me. You said if you can't prove nothing, then accuse him of the wildest charge you can. And you said, let's accuse Tom Barkley of stealing every foot of his land. You know, I say maybe he did. I say let the charge stick.
And I say we've got a tiger by the tail.
And I say we can ride it right into the governor's mansion if you got the guts.
It's not a question of guts.
You know, when we started on this trek, about 1,000 miles behind all the other candidates.
I remember you were scared for me.
Oh, you've been a good teacher. Yes, you have. Yeah, I couldn't have gotten nowhere without you, but now I'm wondering maybe, just maybe you taught me all you can. Maybe if things are getting too hot for you, it might be better for both of us if you got off right now.
I don't know, Josh. Maybe you're right. Maybe we can fight them. Maybe I can dream up some documents. Say a friend of yours worked in the land office. He's dead now, so of course...
And as they say, dead men tell no lies.
Maybe we can drown them in official-looking documents, and by the time they check them out, well, we'll be governor.
I'll be governor.
Of course.
Mhm.
Of course.